This recording contains adults using adult language. Consider this your fair warning and enjoy. There we go. Okay, carry on.
Oh, sweet. Hello?
All right, give me a second here. This is Psychotic Ranger. You want
Yeah.
to
Watch.
also at least you can watch? Okay.
Yeah,
Give me a second.
I
have to
enjoy watching.
All right. Give me a second.
Just a voyeur, man. That's what he does.
Yeah,
Where's that watching?
watching.
You should really just name your
Watch
character.
the fuck out of this.
You should really just name your character and roll 20 as a Russell in the bush.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah. Okay. So, Pathfinder Society, for those who do not know, is a group of explorers. They generally do their tasks, their adventures for hire, if you will. You can imagine, I'm an adventurer. I would like to go through dungeons, and there are all kinds of adventures, just like there are all kinds of different types of Pathfinders. Some are out for conquest, some are out the more Indiana Jones style. That belongs in a museum, so they go hunting for artifacts and put it in what's called Pathfinder lodges, which are basically museums all across the world. You guys are fairly new to the Pathfinder Society. Very recently, you have succeeded at your final trial and become official Pathfinders, and you have acquired your first Wayfinder. Yay, you are official Pathfinders. However, it seems work is low. You're normally contracted. There are these folks that are called venture captains. They're kind of like your supervisors. They're the people who assign you contracts, things to do. And there hasn't been a whole lot lately. Your specific venture captain is a man named, I'll get you the full, Venture Captain Ambrose Volson. You've met with him a few times, obviously. He's the one who kind of sent you through your training. He's one of those guys that never quite offers you good. He's not a, congratulations, pat on your back, you did good. He's always finding negativity in what you do. Always. But yet, you are still Pathfinder, so he must see something. However, times are low, and you haven't had a lot of work, so you find yourselves in your favorite place of refuge and relaxation. Perhaps it's a tavern somewhere, perhaps it's a church somewhere, wherever you may find yourself in the city of Absalom.
Yeah, Church of Calistria.
Perhaps. In the city of Absalom, which is the capital of the world, the largest city ever. And that's really powerful. I mean, ever within the current times. So that's really powerful. And just as you're enjoying your relaxation and your time off, a younger Pathfinder, someone who's clearly in training, I'm looking for, insert name here, Carl, Lucia, Vikak, or Zoe, whoever you are. And I have a message for you. And he hands you a wrapped up parchment. You get this little document.
Oh, pictures. Things that people won't be able to see.
I love picture books.
You get this letter, and you can instantaneously read it. It's kind of like one of those things where you can just read it in the person's voice because you've heard them for so long.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah, kind of one of those. Idle Pathfinders are Pathfinders needing work. Having a bit of downtime is no excuse to sit around and let your skills lapse. So I've come up with a training exercise for you and a few others waiting around the Grand Lodge for a job. I trust you are familiar with the Red Redoubt? If not, for shame. It is an important part of Absalom's history. You might want to spend a few minutes researching it before heading out. While it is technically a cleared ruin, it is a perfect location to test your skills. Another team has spent the last few days practicing their own dungeoneering skills by establishing an obstacle course in the Redoubt's upper levels. Now it's up to you to go and see how well they've done. The course follows a specific path. If you come across a symbol of 3 red dots inside a triangle, that means do not enter. Don't go wandering. I do not want to have to send a third team to find you if you get lost. Otherwise, your response to the challenge is up to you. Bring your own gear, make your own plans, solve the puzzles, and bypass the traps. You'll know when you reach the finish line. I'd wish you good luck, but skilled Pathfinders don't need luck. I trust you'll impress us. Signed, Venture Captain Ambrose Dawson.
Now, as you said, so he says he doesn't want to send a third
AKA
team.
Captain Dick.
Is he actually sending us in to like find the first team or something? Like, that's confusing
Based
me.
on the letter.
Like, because it sounds like he's just saying, "Here's a challenge for you,"
Pathfinder?
but then he mentions a third team. Like, what the fuck?
Well, the
First team probably wandered off.
Well, first team set up the traps.
Yeah.
They were the second team.
Oh, good. We're
Well,
the
like,
guinea pigs.
Dude, I was gonna say, like,
Can I get that
just
in writing?
the way that
The
it
boss
sounded
is
was like
boss,
another team had gone
Scorpion.
before us to try this stuff out, but he just
No.
specifically the people who set it up.
Correct.
Okay.
You've known him long enough that you'd get that from him, right? You understand his wording, so.
Well, my
Absolutely.
character would know that.
Correct. Your character.
Clearly, I
Absolutely.
didn't.
Yeah. So here's one thing I'd like to do. So you're not quite there, like I said. You get this sort of in the middle of your relaxation. You're like, oh shit, he's giving you a job. He's your boss. You got to do it. So a good Pathfinder does his research beforehand. We're going to kind of fast forward a bit here, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to, as he said, do some research of your own. So
Knowledge local.
all right, you want to do some knowledge local?
I don't have it trained, so max of 10, right?
Nope. Yes, correct. Knowledge
Even though
is
it's a
our
class
max of
skill?
10. Yes, this is a good point to just explain something real quickly. Cowboy, skills are either trained skills or not trained skills. The way that means is some skills basically require you to have a rank in it, right? We discussed ranks before.
Yep.
If you do not have a rank in that skill, you are not trained in that skill. Okay. So if a skill is considered a trained skill, aka it requires you to be trained to use it effectively, I don't care what you rolled on the dice. I don't give a shit. You can only ever get a maximum of 10 on that skill. So if you roll a 20 on the die, you got 10. Too bad, so sad. You should have put a rank in it. Understand?
Gotcha.
All right. So for
I
those,
didn't roll my plus.
let's go one by one. We're going to start with just because I want to sort of do this in a more organized fashion. Let's start with Vikak. Rob,
Sorry, say that again.
I'm glad you're listening. Right now,
I will not lie, I did get distracted. But I've got cat issues been solved, we're good.
all right. What I'm looking to do is have you do some sort of knowledge check to see what you know or what you can gather about this red redoubt that you're supposed to go to. So I will take diplomacy, knowledge local, arcana, engineering, or history. Or a combination, whichever one you prefer.
I'll do a history roll.
Go ahead and just give me the number.
9.
9.
As in 9, actually, not me, not being a cunt, yeah.
Just for my own sake, no, can Rob and Ben, can you guys change your screen names to your character names? Because I got so lost when he said
Oh,
Vikak.
yeah, sure
I'm
thing.
like, who the fuck is that?
All right. So detail.
Vikak, not Vikak.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What you do know is that Karamos is considered a machine mage. There's sadly very little for you to know except for with your horrible roll of 9. You don't know much beyond the fact that at one point this machine mage built an army to assault Absalom and absolutely failed. I mean, it was definitely a good fight and Absalom almost lost, but they gathered their powers and defeated him. That's what you know. Your knowledge history. Next one would be Carl. Go ahead and give me a knowledge check. I don't remember what you have on your character sheet off the top of your head, but remember those skills area that we were discussing? That we
Yeah,
had?
I'd roll it against diplomacy.
You're going to use diplomacy. Okay, so go
Yep.
ahead and give me your final number.
Yeah.
My final number, I think it was a 9.
Okay, so it's a roll roll a d20 and roll 20. So /roll 1d20, And then in there you can do plus whatever. Remember, there's in your diplomacy skills, there's diplomacy, then a plus number. I think we
Or
can.
from your character sheet, you can click on the left side of the skill and it'll roll
No.
the dice for you.
No, he doesn't have that.
Oh, he doesn't have that.
He
Boom.
doesn't have it.
Oh, he's teaching him how to use like the stat block.
I'm teaching him how to use the
Oh,
math,
right.
so that he doesn't have a button
Yeah.
that just does it for him.
Sorry,
Okay,
I
so
ended up with 11 there.
nice diplomacy. Ooh, that's a shit roll.
Yes.
That kind of sucks.
A little bit.
All right, so with diplomacy, you're sort of able to use your personality to talk to people around Absalom, right? Gather some information. With another shitty 11. I'm sorry, you guys are just rolling absolutely poorly. What you're able to find is, while the redoubt has no permanent residence, you know that you hear news of bandits and outcasts, or the occasional monster sometimes use it as a lair. Infighting for territory among these groups is usually nullifies their threat, so they tend to just fight each other, and so Absalom doesn't really have to worry about the authorities, just don't interfere with it.
Cool.
That's what you know. So the next one would be Lucia.
I rolled an 8 on knowledge local, unfortunately, which is
Jesus.
worse than
My
the max
God.
of 10 I can take.
You know less than what Cowboy knows. All right, and last but not least, Zoe.
We are the smartest group
Since
in
I
the
have a
world.
chance of it being able to more than 10, I am going to go with diplomacy as well.
All right.
Oh my God, we broke 10.
No, we got an 11. No, Cowboy got 11. So.
We broke
alright.
15.
Even better.
What'd you get?
16.
16. Not great, but still okay. All right. So you know what Carl knows. They write the wild, the bandits, so on and so forth. You learned all that, but you learned a little bit of extra. One band known to lair in their ruins there is the Blood Red Raiders, a small gang of bandits that mostly robs lone travelers. Okay?
Fair enough.
So that's the information you get. Now, you're given this opportunity. Technically, what's supposed to happen here is with the great knowledge that you have obtained, you have an opportunity to buy extra gear that you may need to help out, that kind of thing. I don't know. You don't really gain that much knowledge, so I don't know if you want to buy more gear. This is an opportunity to go, oh, you know what? We know about raiders, right? Some of you know about raiders. Maybe I should buy something like this. Rob, you don't know shit, so.
I think I've got this. I think I know what I need.
All right. So now
Alright,
an opportunity.
sucking
You
The
the
guys
guy
bones.
want
walks
to,
off to go buy some stuff.
with the knowledge that you know, your character specifically, feel free to buy some gear, some last second gear if you want. Right. This is technically happening before you were told to, before the next day. Right. You have that afternoon to do what you need to do.
Cool.
Let me know when you're done with a little message of ready in Roll20, and when I got everyone, we'll continue.
One thing I want to get.
That's
Cheap
like
enough.
a silver piece. Big deal.
Oh yeah, I decided to change that character for it to Russell Crowe in the bush. Because no one was using it.
Right here.
Dang it. Fuck. I fucked that up. It was supposed to be D20.
Oh, that is so cool. Just to let you know, Ben, because I have your character sheet open, I can actually see things as you edit them.
Oh, that's really cool.
Like it's
Yeah.
live.
It's actually really fun.
That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I meant to grab that earlier and
Yeah, that's
forgot
fine.
to throw it in there.
Now you can't cheat.
Because I'm definitely.
Oh
going
no, I
to.
actually had 50 gold. No, you fucking didn't. I just saw you change it. You only have 5, you fucking beggar.
Alright, Vakak, let me know when you're ready.
You know anything else I can get?
Oh, wait. Okay.
Why? There we go.
Alright. Nice. Okay. So it is time you travel out to the Red Redoubt. Now, I will. For those who, my image is going. It's so sad. We'll do this then. You can see I've just put down a little red circle. I think this brings your image to it. Yeah, that should bring all your attention to it. For those who don't know, you can take a look at the map overhand, but I just showed you the square. That's the island that you're on. You can see Absalom there, and basically, this is what's called. This is the Inner Sea. This is the map of most of Galarian. You can see Absalom's kind of the center of attention there, and that's for good reason, because this is a little bit more of a zoomed-in version. Right, the Isle of Kortos, Absalom, and I don't know why. Probably because I changed. I moved and changed things last minute last night. Let's just do this. There's kind of, oops, that's freehand. I don't want freehand. Yeah. I'm having a real hard time with this. Why isn't it doing what I want it to do?
It keeps going everywhere.
But you
else.
got a GM and then totally fail at it.
Yeah, kind of. So anyway, you can see the little red dots there. That's pretty much where they are in comparison to each other. So they're not far off. That's probably a good place to put your siege castle. So Redoubt of Karamors. There you go. That's not that long of a travel. So you head out. You're on your way. That's all nice and fun. You're able to arrive at the Red Redoubt by noon of the next day. So, this is after a day of prepping and getting your items, as we discussed. The noonday sun shines brightly in a cloudless sky, but the rugged landscape diffuses the light as if through a stained glass window, composed entirely of crimson panes. Deep red metal walls, broken but mostly untouched by rust, form an obstacle course through the landscape. Clearly, when the Red Redoubt of Karamors was named, it was not done ironically. The marked path through the siege castle's ruins leads to a large central chamber open to the sky above. So big dome, right, with a hole in the top. Aside from the metallic flooring, walls, and rubble, nothing remains of the so-called machine mage Karamos, or his lost armies. Refuse, old campfire rings, and other signs of life attest to the place being a haven for scavengers and vagabonds. The chamber is filled with a large circular shaft in the metal floor, so a pit in the floor, with a smoothly rolled edges that demonstrate superbly uniform craftsmanship. A rope ladder descends into the pit, anchored by pittons hammered into the floor panel. This thing's about 30 feet in diameter. You're in a domed room. Hole at the top for some light to come down, and you look down, and there's a 30-foot wide diameter hole, perfectly bored. Smooth and... wow, this isn't made with shovels.
It was the Predators.
Pretty dark looking hole.
Yeah, it's kind of like that through the ice.
Predators.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that gives you an idea, but obviously pure vertical. Through earth and steel.
Vigak will kind of look over the edge.
Okay, and what do you have for perception for sights and senses?
Yeah, he's got the low light and he's actually technically got dark vision as well.
Okay,
Dark
60
vision
feet.
really kind of overwrites low light.
I was gonna say though,
Yeah, 60 feet.
Zoe could drop a torch down. I have those.
Okay, so you've got this guy kind of peering down who has some nice senses, and a guy throwing down a torch. And as the torch falls, it doesn't hit water so much as hits it's more of a patang, to be fair. It's a patang, and it kind of
metal.
rolls off. Yeah, it clearly hits something metal about 30 feet down. To be fair, it's actually about 50 feet down. Sorry.
Does it stay lit so we have an idea of where the bottom is?
Yep. You can see it's hard to see the ground around it, but you can definitely see there's light there. So it's not like it rolled off into the distance or stayed unlit. It's lit. It's down there, but it's hard to tell. Rob, with dim light,
you that.
pretty much.
God.
Anybody got the light spell? I got an idea.
Use the light spell on them and throw them down.
Not quite.
Dang it.
So how's the light spell actually work then?
Okay,
You
go
cast
ahead.
it on a single object.
Take a look at the best way to look at it is look it up in D20 PFSRD.
Good point.
Research is the key to everything. If you got a question, just do a search at the top right on PFSRD. So bring up the light spell.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Objects shines like a torch.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward.
But you can just see the information here. There's a lot more detail to exact radius and foot of which the light goes at, and dim lighting, and so on and so forth. We're not going to discuss dim lighting too much. But you can only have one light spell active at any one time. If you cast a spell while another's effect the previous is dispelled. Basically, you cast it on a... the effect is immobile, but it can be cast on a movable object. So you have to cast it on an item. You must make an item light up. So a sword, an arrow, a rock,
What I'm
something.
thinking here is
When-
my bedroll
A
and
belt?
just drop her down.
Sounds good.
Worst case scenario, I gotta, sleep on the floor.
What was it you dropped down?
Bedroll.
Bedroll. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
all right, so Carl, there's this plan that gets devised, and Carl casts light on this bedroll, and it's just a giant sheet of light. And you're like, okay, let's just toss it down. And oddly enough, it falls. Bedrolls are thick, but they're not, rock thick, and they're not just going to plummet down. They kind of do this weird fluttering, it hits the wall, and tumbles over through the wind, right? Through the air currents as it falls, and it eventually settles itself on the ground with a thump. You can still see it down there. There's really not much difference. It's still a bright light coming up from below, which, kind of, how that works with lighting in the dark, where if you see the light, you can see the light and your eyes can't focus on the things around it. So there's darkness around it. And it's on a solid piece of, well, probably metal by the tang you heard before. But it's hard to see what else is further down there. What you do recognize this time around is it looks like the pit goes 30 feet, and then it spreads out. So it's like 30 feet and then a room of some sort. So there's probably 15 to 20 feet of the room height before it hits the pit, the cylinder.
Can we tell if the rope ladder goes right to the bottom?
Absolutely it does.
Perfect.
How secure does it seem with the pins? I will
Why don't
gladly
you
do
go-
a check I need to do.
Go ahead and give me a perception. Perception is, again, it's not just eyesight looking at how tight it is, it's feeling it. How tight is this? Is feeling, it would also be a sense of smell too, but that's not really
Nice.
applicable here.
Didn't have to go for a backup.
Vikak will kind of watch them, and he would definitely have the airs of like a almost like superior to you kind of thing as he's watching these guys figure out this
A
ladder.
little arrogant.
Yeah, definitely give the air of arrogance. Yeah.
Fucking plebeians and their ladders. Why
I
haven't we built a staircase yet with the slaves?
Lucia, you're taking a look at these knots on these pitons, and you're looking at the strength in which they're in and how they've been hammered in, and are they cracked? These things look like they're solid. They'll carry a good weight.
Should be able to hold us. Maybe going two at a time would be a little more beneficial for this, though.
Yeah, I'll join you on the way down.
Can I get that in
Vikak
writing?
will actually just step. Vikak will step off the edge, and then he'll just actually flap wings and literally fly down.
Lucky you.
Give me 1 second.
Wait, flying down? What is your person? A bird person?
Yeah, he's a
Strix.
Strix. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, if he's injured, he'll just suck the blood out of one of you.
So I got
Yeah.
distracted for a
totally.
second. What was the results of the perception check? Like, how does the rope ladder look?
Strong,
Okay.
knots are
fine.
tight,
It's
decently
fine
anchored.
enough that I flew down.
Well, like you would have cared either way.
Birdman.
Watch everybody
Bird
try and get
person.
down this ladder and fucking TPK.
Oh, Christ.
All the
Everyone
fall
fucking
damage.
dies.
Ladder boss.
Yep, this is where my
Everybody
notorious
fall.
rolls are going to come into
Roll
play.
5d6.
All right, I want to build up the tension.
Roll
That's-
one.
I do remember
Yeah,
like my go ahead.
Tension as the ladder snaps under their weight.
I do recall though in my first Pathfinder session that just like this I did fail my first climb check in that one as well.
Well, here's where we're going to learn a new lesson, okay? The lesson that Stu probably fucked up last time when he failed his climb check on the rope. which is take 10s and take 20s.
Yep, I was about to say.
You
I
know,
was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's before you ever even told me that was a thing.
Probably.
Actually.
But no one else in the group offered it.
All right. So take 10 and take 20s are sort of exactly as the name suggests. It's as if you went, you know what? I'm just going to take my d20 and make it a 10. All right? I'm not going to roll because I have a chance of failure. I have a chance of a 1 on that case. No. I'm just going to take 10 or take 20. But here's the deal. With the take 20, you can't. A take 20 assumes you attempt it for a longer period of time. Okay? So let's say you're picking a lock, for example. It's assuming you're sitting there picking the lock. Oh, you failed. Shit, I fucked it up. Okay, well, I'm just going to try again. Oh, shit, I failed again. I'm just going to try it again. Oh, shit, I failed. I'm just going to try again. Right? It's assuming you keep retrying. It's tasks that you can retry. But if there is a consequence to failing, right, such as climbing a rope,
And dying.
if the consequence of failing is you fall off the fucking rope, you can't take 20 on something that has consequences. Okay? Like, if you just pick a lock, what's the consequences of fucking up?
You might break the lock beyond repair and can't open it.
Or you break your lock pick, but even then you could probably just kick the door a couple of times and hope that it'll budge.
That's
It's
almost
DM discretion, probably.
It's up to DM discretion to a degree, but yeah, usually things like that. For example, or take 10 on perception. You can just keep looking around.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't look long enough, you can just look more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Climbing
okay.
is not one of those. So what you can do as an alternative is a take 10, which is basically it's an average roll. I'm just doing this slowly. I'm doing it. I'm not in panicked mode. There's nothing crazy going on that's making me, the adrenaline's kicking in. I'm not in the middle of a fight. You know what I mean? I can just do it slowly and calmly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what a take 10
Tap
is.
it in.
Yeah.
Just
So a take
tap.
10, you can't do a take 10 during combat. There are feats and stuff that allow you, but that's all other stuff. By default, you cannot take 10 in the middle of combat or in the middle of a pressure scenario.
Like if you were trying to escape under a certain time limit kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of the idea. So in this case, there's no one attacking you guys at this moment, so I would say it's perfectly fair to you to say, why don't you go ahead and take 10, because you can just calmly walk down the rope. You don't need to panically rush down it.
Which
Or be
Zoe
like,
will do.
Hey guys, check this out.
Which
Yeah.
Carl will also do.
So
Nice and
ultimately,
slow.
Well,
here's the math of
sorry,
it
go.
all, okay? And there is, you still have a chance of failure with a take 10, so you kind of have to know your character and do your math. I'm going to give you a quick little idea here. A steep slope or a knotted rope next to a wall has a DC of 0. So the difficulty class is 0.
Which means
Okay.
if you fail it, somehow you've broken the laws of the game.
To a degree, but not completely, because let's take, for example, Ben's character, Carl. A lot of you may not know this, but Ben, you're wearing medium armor, right?
That's correct, and I have a shield actually.
And a shield. So, okay, let's say you stow
Oh,
your
God.
shield, right? Remember, you have ACP. Remember we discussed armor check penalties to skills?
Yes.
Skills
I
that
would
involve
absolutely
physical
stow my
things?
shield before I do this.
Yeah. So normally you would have, I'm going to do the math just so we can explain it here. You would have an ACP of negative 10, right? Because you have an ACP
Jesus
of negative 4.
Christ.
Yeah. You have
Even my first one wasn't that bad.
You have an ACP of negative 4 for your scale mail and a negative 6 for your heavy steel shield.
Wait, how is it -6 for his shield?
I'm just looking at his character sheet.
You say it should only be a -2.
Heavy
Is it?
steel, though.
Yeah, for heavy steel, I'm pretty sure that's still only a -2.
Let me take a look, see if it was written down wrong. I'm just looking at his character sheet and just assuming it was written down
Equipment,
right.
While
armor, and
he's
shields.
looking for that, one thing that
It could have been
Heavy
4,
steel,
and then
-2.
+2
Unless he
and
put the
6,
pound,
you said.
Oh.
he may have put the weight there instead. Check that.
yeah.
No, that weight's only 15.
No, it's heavier than
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I don't know how you got that, but it's okay. So there you go. That's why you can edit that on your character sheet.
Yeah, I have no idea how I did that one.
Yeah, no big deal.
Maybe-
So,
Oh, I know how I did it. I was thinking -6 total.
oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So there you go. So you've got a -6. So technically, even if you take 10, what you would do is you would take 10. So you take a dice roll of 10, right? You plus
Mhm.
your strength because climbing is a strength skill.
So 18.
So 18. Then you minus your ACP.
Sorry,
So 22.
sorry, Ben. Hold on.
Minus your ACP.
When you
Yep.
said your strength is 18, that's what your ability score is. The ability modifier is what he needs
Oh,
to
the
add.
modifier.
So yours
Yes.
would
Which would
be
be
a
four.
plus 4 from your
Yes.
strength.
Yeah.
So really, in all, you'd have a -2.
No.
Yeah, which would give me an 8 total.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever I say add your strength or add your dex, assume I'm talking about your modifier because you will never add your straight up ability score.
It would
Ever.
be
I think
great if
there's
you
one
could.
thing. I think there's one thing where it adds your full con score.
I never heard of it, but sure, it might exist. There are things in this game I've never heard of, so it's not unprecedented.